Hey, and welcome back to Girl Chat Sports. We are on episode 26. It's a lovely number. It's so even, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? I'm Melissa. I'm one of your hosts here, and along with me, of course, is Miss Stephanie.
Hi, everyone.
Hope everyone's having a good week so far. I know we've got some breaking news coming out of here in Las Vegas, well, actually in northern Reno. We are one step closer to getting a stadium, Steph.
Yeah, even if it might be the Raiders.
Hey, we can't be beggars can't be choosers at this point.
Yep.
Any football team other than a couple college spots would be lovely here. So
If you build it, they will come.
and they sure will. So what happened in Carson City, which is up in northern Nevada, it's our capital, the Nevada State Senate had a vote on Tuesday evening, which passed Senate Bill 1, which does call for the increase in hotel room taxes, as well as the partially funded proposed NFL stadium. They got like a 16-5 vote. So there was 5 people that did not vote for it. And then so it's not over yet. We now have to go to the assembly. So that happens, and they have to have like a greater, I think, voting in regards to that. So we're one step closer, but still a few steps away, because even after the assembly approves it, then the NFL owners have to approve it, which isn't going to be sometime until I think like January or something. So
Yeah, but to throw a twist in there, apparently Oakland is not ready to let the Raiders go. The mayor and some famous folks like Ronnie Lotland, are trying to bring some money together to possibly have Oakland stay there and build a new stadium where the Coliseum is now.
wow. And that's going to take a lot of time, too. So that was our breaking news for Girl Chat Sports. We don't have any, breaking news, like dun-dun-dun music, but that will be it for now. So welcome to Girl Chat Sports. Again, we're on episode 26. We got some great stuff coming up. Of course, we're going to cover the NFL because that's probably both our favorite sports, period. We'll go into a little bit of fantasy football, some big college football stuff. We're in the final leg of Major League Baseball. We're down to 4 teams now, and almost 4 teams. And we've got, of course, let's see, we actually have our awe segment coming back. So we'll have an awe moment that we'll share with you guys, along with a special ew moment that was gross and disgusting to me. And of course, we will wrap it up with arms of the NFL, because why not want lots of arms that look great in football uniforms?
Exactly.
So moving on to football stuff, what is going on? Let's see. So I know your boy Odell had a little fight with the kicking net during the last game 2 weeks ago, but it looks like he made up with the kicking net.
Yeah, well, I think that after a crucial, very long decision by the refs to confirm that his first touchdown of the season was actually a catch, he was happy enough to go make up with the kicker net. Gave it a little kiss and a hug.
I kind of feel like there was a little tongue slipped in there somewhere.
Apparently he's enjoying the game again.
Well, he's enjoying it enough to pay for another $24,000 in fines that he got hit with for unsportsmanlike conduct when he played the Vikings. So that's interesting. This is his 3rd fine in the first 5 games. I mean, I don't know. There's been much talk about his maturity level and him being able to kind of suck it up and start playing and be that kind of, all-star player that the Giants want him to be. Hopefully he can do that, because getting those kind of fines just so early in the season is not so great.
He needs to calm himself.
In other news, this is something that I was like, what? It was like my prayers have been answered from the football uniform gods. We have seen the last of the gel bait / bumblebee uniforms of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I kind of like them.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of like them.
I mean, I can't say that I can say that I like them probably more than the Christmas color Thursday games that we saw of like the Bucks and I think it was Packers or something like that like last season. I'm not sure who it was, but I've never been a fan. I don't like the gel bait. I don't like the bumblebees, and I'm glad they're gone. So for all you Steelers fans, hold tight to those uniforms because they're done. Done.
So Tom Brady is back.
Oh, pretty Tom, Mr. Tom, TB12.
And of course, he would be the AFC Offensive Player of the Week the first game that he comes back.
He had like 130 yards in like just the first quarter alone. Of course, they were playing the Browns, so it doesn't say much. I mean, I wonder if they did it on purpose. They were like, you know what? I think Tom's going to come back in the fifth game. Let's give him somebody easy to play against so he just looks even better.
Man, 406 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Three
Not
touchdowns.
rusty at all.
Right. So for all those fantasy people that have been hiding him on your bench for the first 4 games, I'm sure you loved that yesterday, but not as much as I loved having Brian Hoyer on my fantasy football team. This man came in with a pounding, hitting over 300 yards, but we'll get to fantasy football later. So beyond Pretty Tom, here's the deal. Seahawks had a bye this week. I was bored out of my freaking mind. I was, of course, watching the games. Of course, I made sports bets. They all lost. My fantasy teams went 2 for 3, which I'm getting I'm getting better. I'm starting to pick up the pace a little bit. But not having your team play sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
I had my mom calling me. Oh, what am I gonna do? There's no Seahawks on today. I'm like, I don't know. Clean the house. Watch baseball or something. Who knows? I was at the pool for part of the time, but hey, that's how we live in Vegas, right?
It's true. Last bit of summer.
But next up is a big game. Atlanta, who has just now beaten the Panthers and the Broncos, both teams from the Super Bowl last year, of course, Broncos winning. Atlanta has beaten both those teams and are coming to Seattle this Sunday for a big game in our conference and for the NFC. So this should be interesting. What also is interesting that I thought was that Atlanta never went home after the game in Denver. They actually flew directly to Seattle and have been there the whole week. And so on Tuesday, Russell Wilson does his Tuesday visits to Seattle Children's Hospital, which is awesome of him, and I love seeing his posts all the time on Instagram. So shout out to Russell. He actually took 2 of the guys with him from the Falcons this week, along with Tyler Lockett. So I think it was Devonta Freeman and Manu. What's his last name? Mohamed Sanu. That's what I was thinking. I was getting all confused. So he took these 2 guys with him to Children's Hospital. They did some pictures. It was really an awesome thing to do, I think. And I think it gave the guys something else to do in Seattle other than just play a little football and eat the crab that I miss so much. But I know you want to get to your boys, so go ahead.
Man, I'll tell you, it's been a good few weeks for us with the Dak and Zeke show. So we're actually 4-1 now, and Prescott's doing pretty well for us. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 69% completing in the passes. So I don't know. It's just been good.
I mean, he's doing more than good. This guy, he hasn't had an interception yet. He is literally 7 passes away from beating Tom Brady's record of having not had an incomplete or having an interception. So if you're chasing down Tom Brady's record for starting out your career and not having interceptions, I mean, you're on the right path. You're on the right path, and that's for sure. So it's crazy that this guy, I mean, I think last game he had his first kind of fumble drop sack happened, but was an interception, so it didn't count against him. I guess the ongoing conversation is Romo going to be coming back as the starter? Because per Jerry, for the last couple weeks, it's been like, oh, this is Romo's team, blah blah blah. But I think there was a recent post that Jerry had said in regards to, well, this is the kind of situation we want to be in. We want to be able to have to pick between a couple people.
Yeah, well, I mean, this has definitely been a huge topic for everyone, including Cowboys fans. I will say that there are people that are Team Romo and there are people that are Team Dak. So it's been a
Are
crazy
there
couple
really
days.
Team Romo people? That's what I want to know.
Well, I think that it's not necessarily Team Romo. It's just that, we respect the decisions that are made by management and what they want to do. And personally, our opinion doesn't really count anyway.
Right.
But I mean, the way I feel about it is that until Romo proves otherwise, I think it's still his team.
Sure.
In my opinion, he's still one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league.
Who hasn't played on and off for the last 3 seasons, however.
True. But out of his last 21 starts, the Cowboys went 16-5.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that Romo throws it down the field when Dak is just doing little short plays and whatnot. So I just think that like Romo is still our quarterback, and until he proves himself otherwise or relinquishes the position, and I don't think that Jerry's stupid enough to leave him in if he loses. So
let's hope not. Jerry hasn't made some of the best decisions in the Cowboys' career. However, I do believe. If I'm Jason Witten, I want Romo back because Jason Witten hasn't seen too many looks when it comes to Dak. So
even Dez, there's the debate: is Dak better without Dez? Because he doesn't do those far throws down the field that Dez is looking for. So it's almost kind of a distraction.
Maybe Dez is benching himself at the moment, waiting. He's sitting there praying behind closed doors that Romo comes back and can feed him the ball.
Exactly. But you know what? Actually, he did practice, I think, today, and so he's iffy for the next game, even though I think he should stay out.
Well, yeah, he should stay out because I think they have a bye week 7, so that means if they play this weekend or if they stay out this weekend, they've got the 2 weeks off, and then they come back, for week 8, which I don't really want them to be strong coming back week 8, but just in the whole common sense of football and injuries, it probably makes sense. So, whatever. Anything else in the Cowboys news besides them being 4-1?
I don't think so.
So the only undefeated team is a team that lost its starting running back and its starting quarterback.
Man, it's crazy. Poor Teddy Bridgewater.
I mean, the Vikings are 5-0. It's the first time since 2009 this has happened for them. And to be honest, this is the first time I think that it's been this early in a season where there's only one undefeated team. I think last year about this time we've had like 4 or 5 undefeated teams. So there's only one undefeated team left, and it's the Vikings. Not to mention, would you not have expected that to take place? You would also not be able to say that the Panthers are 4-1. I'm sorry, the Panthers are 1-4. Mm-hmm. So the Panthers, who just lost to the Bucks at home, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Panthers in North Carolina.
It's crazy.
I can't even. I mean, and what's crazy is that Cam Newton didn't play, but they have film of him on like some kind of like one of those moped on the little what are the Segways. Downtown Charlotte on a Segway with no helmet on, but he's on concussion protocol.
Oh, that seems dangerous.
Yeah, they might want to renegotiate that contract. So, yeah. On some other stat news in regards to some teams, the Chargers are 1-4. Nothing, I guess, scientific there. They've been sucking, but they've been blowing their last couple of games in like the last minutes. So it's like they just blew a lead. They could have won with a field goal, I think, this last weekend, and they lost that. So it's ridiculous. Speaking of field goals, there's a funny little tidbit. I don't know if anybody watched Monday Night Football this week or has watched any of the Bucs games per se, but there's this rookie kicker who's Roberto Aguayo, who knows? Roberto A, shouting out to Roberto A, who was from Florida State Seminole. He actually was the 2nd round draft pick by the Bucs. It's like the first time that a kicker has gone in the 2nd round since 2005, and that was that Nugent guy from the Bengals. So this guy apparently was like an awesome kicker in college, and he went in the 2nd round. To get this 2nd round pick, the Bucs had to like trade up for him. They traded up for a kicker. A kicker. Yes, a kicker. And in that time, preseason apparently stunk pretty bad. He did his first couple games of the regular season went really well. Last week or the week before this, the past weekend was all right. However, this last weekend he made 2, and then he missed the second 2. So he was 2 for 2 as a kicker. That's terrible. 50% is not okay. And it wasn't like he was making like 50-yard attempts. They were like usual, 30-some yards. So what happens is the game between the Bucs and the Panthers comes down to, of course, a field goal last minute to win the game. He kicks the ball, and I think everybody is somewhat saying, no, don't make it, because they want to see at least Carolina win a game at home. But half the other people are saying, no, I hope the kid made it. He came through when he needed to come through. So the Bucs beat Carolina at home. the kicker that was drafted in the second round, it came through. So
they said that he never missed a kick inside of 40 yards in college.
Wow.
And the first two that he missed in this game, 33 and 46 yards, and the 38-yarder was the winner.
That is so crazy to me. I'm still like, huh? Wait, what? You put a second round pick as a kicker? I don't know.
But I heard the team rallied around him too and supported and encouraged him, which is really, to me, awful strange. Usually when someone doesn't do so well in the only position that they usually are wanting to oust them. So I thought that was kind of nice.
Well, I think they can say that now because he made the winning kick. However, had he not, there might have been some backlash. Maybe he would be driving back to Tampa Bay versus flying with the team. Last little tidbits in regards to NFL news. So Cleveland's quarterback situation continues to be shady. Cody Kessler went down over the weekend. I think he'll be back again, though, for this weekend. However, Charlie Whitehurst, which is a name I haven't heard since he played third string backup for Seattle, played in the game this past weekend and was the 5th quarterback of the season, which is, that's 5 games and 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah, so anyway, Charlie Whitehurst got released from the team on Tuesday with an injury settlement. And Kessler is actually injured. I think he's out 4 weeks with a broken collarbone. So they're going to be relying on McCowan to be healthy. But they also promoted rookie Kevin Hogan of Stanford from the practice squad. So they got a backup to their backup to their backup.
He'll be the 6th quarterback next
He's their only healthy quarterback right now.
Because McCowan's not going to stay healthy for long. So he'll be the 6th quarterback this year. You have my word on it. Go ahead and put some money on it. We're in Vegas. Make a bet. And let's see. Oh, the other thing here, Oakland. I know I got a lot of Raider fans out there. And, of course, the Las Vegas Raiders. We're all keeping our fingers crossed. But these guys keep winning. They keep winning. Derek Carr is having a great season as far as passing yards and completions. However, there's no defense on this team. They're literally in their regular season games. They've had 5. 1 they lost. They're 4-1. Of those 4 games, 3 of them the opponents had over 20 points.
I'm shocked.
There's 0 defense on this team. 0 defense. So here's the thing that I learned when I played basketball in high school, and I have a T-shirt literally somewhere at my house in one of those sealed Tupperwares. Offense wins games. Defense wins championships. The Raiders will not win a championship ever unless they can grab themselves a defense. So you've heard it here. Period. ... Anyways, guys, let's take a little break real quick. We're going to get we got a new sponsor today. It's a travel agency. Please take a listen, and we will talk to you right back in a minute. Bye.
This is Melantha Witherspoon with Take a Trip Travel, and we love to plan family vacations, honeymoons, girlfriend getaways, with a great deal of experience with group travel and destination weddings. We can be reached at 314-369-7025 or taketriptravel@gmail.com. That is taketriptravel@gmail.com.
And welcome back to Girl Chat Sports. Again, a big shout out to Samantha Witherspoon and Take a Trip Travel, as well as a huge shout out to the guys at In the Zone Network, our guys Palmer Alexander, as well as Arlington Lane, and all the guys part of the network. We got the guys up in Seattle, the guys out in New England, and we're just excited to be part of it. Check out their podcast on Podomatic and The Zone. They actually were rated as one of the top up-and-coming podcasts for the top 500 that were doing big things. So check In the Zone Show or In the Zone Network on Podomatic. So getting back to the last little bit of football, for all those whiner fans out there, your boy Kaepernick is getting the start. He's getting the nod this weekend.
Yeah, and today apparently he restructured his contract. He's now in a 1-year, $11.9 million deal with a player option to return for the 2017 season or to become a free agent after the season.
Do we think he's worth $11.9 million for one season.
I think that they really just wanted to cut off the next 4 years and save themselves $65.3 million.
Whoa, was that it? $65.3 million
For the next 4
Oh,
years.
Jesus. Yeah, I guess that probably would have been. Yeah. So we'll see how Kaepernick does it. He'll finally get to show us him in the Chip offense, Chip Kelly's offense. We'll see how that goes for him. I know it's something that he can do. It's something that he's done in Nevada, up in Nevada when he was a quarterback there. So we shall see. Other news, we got the big Thursday night game tomorrow.
Prayers going out to Kubiak.
Yeah, he's not going to make it. So we got hospitalized Sunday and Monday for some flu-like symptoms, but it sounded like it was something else recently.
A migraine.
Yeah. So I know he was the one coach that had gotten sick. I don't know if he either passed out or got or fallen down at some point during one of the games when he coached prior to that. I can't remember the team he played for before, or the team he coached for before, but anyways, so that kind of wraps up our NFL news. In regards to fantasy football, if you had any of the following players, you had an awesome team. Brian Hoyer, like I mentioned before, did major work in Chicago. He went completely over his projected points. Adam Vinatieri, who was a last-minute pickup for me for kicker for the Colts, went off. I've never seen a kicker score this. I think he had 25 points for me, which is unbelievable. Of course, Le'Veon Bell continues to do great. Had a career high in catches. Also, a big game for Jacquizz Rodgers, who is now with the Bucks. Mr. Asiata from the Vikings had a huge game. He beat his projected points by 10, and the one that killed me, because I was winning in my guys' fantasy football league until Mr. Greg Olson had a huge game with the Panthers, and he had 30 points as a tight end, which again is unfound of. So real quick shout out to Todd Gurley, who I've had all season, and I've been trying to just ride with him even though he's been not getting his projected points. He finally got projected points this last week, so I'm hoping for the start of this is being the start of his season to continue to be great. Other injuries to watch out for: Carson Palmer was out for Thursday Night Football, which made it a terrible game for any wide receivers named Floyd or Jones for the Cardinals. And of course, Cam Newton was out, so that kind of was tough for the Panthers, except for Greg Olsen, who got all of the work. As far as this coming week, there's going to be some great matchups and great games. I suggest you guys, if you'd like to email me, Melissa at GirlChatSports.com, and get some inside scoop from me on fantasy football. I have a couple friends that reach out to me to text me, and we kind of bounce ideas off each other. But the waiver wire is hot. It is Wednesday. Your waivers should have went through. So I say get out there, start looking, and find your players for the week. I know for me, I needed a couple defenses since I had gotten rid of a couple last weekend. Anywho, quick news on the college football scene, because my Huskies are doing great.
Wow, what a blowout.
And here's the deal. I love watching my Huskies play, but when it got to be, I think, in that 50 to 60 to 14, 17, I just was meh, let me see what else is on TV tonight. So the Huskies blew out Oregon, and we haven't beat Oregon in 12 years. So, granted, it was since I've left UW. However, we haven't beaten Oregon in 12 years. We blew them out in Eugene, which was huge. So that was lovely. Shout out to all the guys on the team and all the Huskies, period, all the alumni. And we are now either between 4 and 5. Some of the polls have us at 4. Some of us have us at 5, depending on the whole where you think Michigan ranks versus Washington. So same top 5 as last week: Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, and then the whole Michigan versus UW. We're not sure. It kind of is a hit or miss as to who you think is 4 or 5. But one thing that is pretty interesting that I'm really hoping for is that our quarterback, Jake Browning, he is over 300 yards for this last game. He had 6 touchdowns, and then he ran for 2 more, 8 touchdowns total. He is actually a Heisman candidate and one of the top 5 Heisman candidates as of this time. And actually, of those 5 Heisman candidates, I think 4 of them are quarterbacks.
Awesome.
Which is pretty crazy. So good luck for him. Our wide receiver Ross had some great footwork. I mean, he had Chad Johnson, Ocho Cinco, Cinco type footwork where he was getting his little pinky toes in bounds during some of those catches, as well as our running back Askin, who can't be stopped. I mean, this guy is powerful, and for not being so, he's not a huge guy. It's not. I want to say he's probably like 5'10" maybe, but anyway, yeah, and then we've got baseball.
Yeah, MLB. So the Indians swept the Red Sox. So it was David Ortiz's last game.
That is not the way you want to go out.
That's why I probably said his goodbye in the preseason.
Yeah, season ending. You get swept by the Indians, and you got to say goodbye. It was kind of sad. But what's kind of funny about that is that for this last year's NBA playoffs, we had the Cleveland Cavaliers and Toronto Raptors play in the playoffs, which is crazy because now in the Major League playoffs, you've got the Indians as well as the Blue Jays. So you've got the Indians and Blue Jays playing. This hasn't happened where NBA playoffs have been the same as MLB playoffs since 1969.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even
crazy.
realize it.
Yeah. So Cleveland sports is having a great year so far, which is amazing.
Not in football.
Yeah, definitely not in football. So at least they have 2 of the 3. You know what I mean? I mean, other than like the Bay Area, which only has 1. Well, no, the Giants, but then they lost. So.
Yeah, speaking of the Giants, they did lose to the Cubs.
In the 9th inning.
Man, that was a game.
So I heard there was a rally. I didn't actually catch it, but I saw some of the highlights. The Cubs had come back to win the game in the 9th inning rally, which I remember when you played softball, you'd have like your rally caps and stuff on. I always find it fun to see like what the Major League Baseball players do for their rally caps, or what their kind of like, superstitious thing is to get the rally going. And whatever it was, it obviously worked.
My Dodgers are still in it.
Hey, and they're playing the Nationals, right?
Yeah, so Game 5 will be Thursday night in Washington, hanging in there. Oh my
gosh, so winner takes all, looks like, huh?
Yeah, and then another noteworthy thing, the Padres fired their team president, Mike D. Apparently, they haven't seen a playoffs in 10 consecutive seasons.
We'll join the Chargers. I think the San Diego just needs to get involved all sports teams, period.
They can move them to Vegas.
Move them to Vegas, too. We could have a baseball team, like a real not to downplay the 51s at all, but we could have like a Major League Baseball team and football team. That'd be awesome. So the winner of the Dodgers-Nationals game is going to go on and play the Cubbies. So Chicago is actually going crazy right now, too, because they love their teams. They love their Cubs fans. Even White Sox fans, I hear, are even like down with the whole, hey, it's Chicago, let's make this happen.
Yep, Chicagoans definitely have love for their cities.
Man, don't they though? So in other real quick news, the WNBA is in the finals. The WNBA, we've got the finals going on. It's the Lynx and the Sparks. I think the Lynx won it last year, so it's been pretty interesting. There was a couple close games. I think it was yesterday. The Lynx actually beat the Sparks, so they're going on to game 3. Okay, so I want to bring back a couple segments we used to do before in the first season of Girl Chat Sports. One is the moment, which we will get to in a second. There was a couple things that I wanted to speak on in that department. But real quick, did anybody see the meme or the picture that Jared Cooks had posted? Jared Cooks is a football player. He was at Buffalo Wild Wings, ordered, went to the bar, probably got a beer and an order of wings. I prefer my Parmesan garlic. I don't know what your favorites are. But he sends a picture out on Twitter, I believe, and it's literally a fried chicken head in his basket of wings.
Ew.
I mean, I don't know how much more I could gag beyond that, but it was disgusting. I want chicken wings free for forever, for the rest of my life.
I don't think I'd ever eat chicken wings again after that.
Well, and I will say this, I do prefer Wingstop over Buffalo Wild Wings at any time, because they actually have real Parmesan on their Parmesan garlics, but that's a whole other food issue, and I love food, so we'll leave it at that. On to the moments. So what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So Kelly MacNamara, she's a sophomore high school student at North Penn High School and is the first female kicker in the school's history. I don't know if you had a chance to catch out this clip, but she had a kick, and the kicker, the returner was coming back with it and got her. And most kickers when they're like the last form of defense for you to go all the way,
they run out of the way.
They usually run, or they're like you'll see their arm kind of try and hit them or something. This girl went full on went and. When I say rocked his world, this kid went flying. I mean, the meme has been all over the place. I mean, Kelly hits hard, and all I can say is I wish that when I was in school I could have played football too.
She didn't play football to begin with, though. She was always a soccer
Right, she was
player.
soccer, but I'm saying, like, I didn't, none of us knew when we were kids that, oh yeah, it's cool to play, we could play football. No, it wasn't.
No,
that wasn't part of the program.
possible.
It wasn't possible at all. So it's kind of nice to see how sports is progressing, especially, I mean, obviously we love sports and we love football, but to be able to be young again and to be able to have the opportunity to play and to do things that only the boys can do usually.
She's the 4th-ranked kicker in the state of Pennsylvania right now.
4th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ugh. Man, congratulations, Kelly. You are the Girl Chat Sport person of the day.
We love you. We're fans.
We love it. Seriously. The other awe moment was kind of it was funny at first, but then it got to be really kind of like emotional for me. Not necessarily for me, but Andrew Hawkins, he's a wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns. He's played for a couple other teams as well. This is like his, I don't know, I think like 6th or 8th year in the pros. There was an article about him crying before every game, and the big thing was, no, it's not because he plays for the 0-5 Browns. I mean, because at first you're like, oh, I totally get it. I would cry too if I played for the Browns. But apparently no. It is not because of that. He actually is 5'7", and he basically stated that if God brought you through what I've been through, you'd get emotional too. I don't take 1 second for granted. So this guy literally is 5'7", which is really short for a wide receiver, especially in the league. But basically has gone through a lot of things throughout his life and was given these chances, and God has basically saw him through them. And he basically is so emotional before every game. He said that basically he sometimes has to have smelling salts or a towel to basically regroup and to be able to go play. And the team is always like, yeah, Hawk, he's always crying. Like, he's like a little crybaby. But we thought that was really cute. We love that. So, and it's also funny is that last year, Jamie, our previous guest or previous co-host, she had this big thing for Toledo, the Toledo Rockets, and it's funny because he actually played for Toledo in college, and then he played for the Montreal Alouettes in the CFL, and they won the Grey Cup championship like twice. So he's been around a ways and has kind of had to like make his moves here and there to get to where he is now. So I totally get it. But the thing that drew me to him originally was because when they played the Patriots this past weekend during TB12's inaugural game. So he basically caught the ball and dropped it in the end zone, like literally put it down and then walked away like a robot, no emotion. Basically was signifying that due to all the recent fines and the cutting down of celebrations by the NFL and their strict policies, that he was basically just trolling them. So it was kind of interesting to see that happen, but that's kind of what sparked the whole issue and me looking into Andrew Hawkins himself and his kind of backstory. So, story to Andrew Hawkins. We really appreciate, being able to read up on some of these guys and getting their stories. So, real quick before we wrap up for today, there was some golf news, which we don't cover too much because let's just say I've been golfing once and it was to Top Golf here in Las Vegas. So, let's talk about Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods.
So apparently he was going to make a little comeback and play in the Safeway Open, but about 2 or 3 days beforehand, he actually withdrew, saying that his game feels vulnerable. He's actually still playing for his foundation. He actually looked really great. I saw a video, and It seems like he's in top form. But he put on his website, after a lot of soul searching and honest reflection, I know that I'm not ready to play on the PGA Tour or compete in Turkey. My health is good and I feel strong, but my game is vulnerable and not where it needs to be. He said he practiced the last several days in California, but after many hours, he knew he wasn't ready to compete against the best golfers in the world.
Interesting. Well, Tiger, I guess thanks for at least being honest, but, don't fake us. Don't fake us out. giving us the boo-foo, the fake.
I think he just didn't want to embarrass himself until he was fully ready. So.
Well, I think he's embarrassed himself enough so far in the last year of his career. So.
Very true.
Anyways, I'm excited this weekend. I get to go to the Warriors-Lakers game. Obviously, I would never go to a Lakers game, but because the Warriors are in town, that was my jab at you, right? But because the Warriors are in town, it's one of my girlfriend's husband's birthdays that we're going to celebrate, and Kevin Durant, of course, getting to see him suit up live for the Warriors. I will be supporting them in my Sonics gear as usual. So I'll be able to discuss a little bit more about that next week during the podcast. And then I know you have a lot you want to talk about regarding the Lakers themselves and the organization, so we'll definitely get into that next week. But before we go, anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think we can go right into
arms of the NFL. Yes, so we have a little special treat for you guys today. But first off, we've got Xavier Rhodes. He's a cornerback for the Vikings, number 29. Ladies, go ahead and write that down now, 29, okay? You'll want to check out his arms. And I apologize in advance. I've been slacking on posting my collages of the guy's arms on Instagram and to our social medias, but I will get to that ASAP this week. Second, I've got Kurt Coleman. Number 20 for this, he's a safety for the Panthers, so we got to give some credit to the Panthers. At least they do have some good arms on the team. I do know that. They may not be playing well, but they sure got some good arms. And for our fun little thank you for listening, today's a special day. We're going to honor 2 TBT Throwback Thursday for tomorrow. Previous NFL arms. And those are brothers, the Tiki and Rondé Barber. Oh my God, listen, when I was trying to figure out a good throwback, I was like, let me think. Who are those, who are the brothers that played for the Giants and the Bucks? And we had to Google, and I was like, oh yeah, Tiki Barber, yes.
They still look good.
Man.
Haven't aged a bit.
No, black does not crack. I will take, yes. Anyway. So that's our show for today. Episode 26 is a wrap. Please keep following us, liking us, sharing us. We actually had a really good post by Steph yesterday in regards to International Girl, right? International Girl
Day of the Girl, yeah.
Yes, it was an awesome post. So please check it out on GirlChatSports on Facebook. We're on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter, of course. Please check us out on Twitter. Follow Steph.
S_wash.
And you can follow me at Seattle _4_life. We really appreciate your guys' support. Keep tuning in, and we should be having some guests here shortly. I don't know about next week, but we're working on the guests, so we will keep you posted. Have a good day, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for checking out another great episode of Girl Chat Sports. And remember, we don't have balls, but we know how to cover them. Until next time, guys.